Are you overhiring in your digital marketing agency? Or maybe you're hiring all the wrong people and it's a complete mess. Trust me, I've been there. I remember when I was just starting out and we had about 30 active clients in our marketing agency and I didn't know who to hire. So I made one of the worst decisions that I've ever made as an entrepreneur. Instead of going out and finding talented people, I hired interns. Now, this single decision ended up costing me tens of thousands of dollars. And worst of all, I ended up wasting hundreds of hours of my time. Now, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Joel Kaplan, founder of Agency Lab. I scaled my marketing agency to over $300,000 per month and then sold it. After that, I helped over 80 agency owners scale to 7 figures, and we got such crazy results that the Alex Hormozi, author of $100 million Offers and founder of acquisition.com, endorsed us and said that we are one of the only guys that he trusts in the agency space. And what I want to do today over the next 4 to 5 minutes is share my 7-figure agency hiring framework that goes over where to find the best people, how to build your 7-figure agency dream team, and also who to hire and when to hire them. With that in mind, let's dive in. So here's the 7-figure agency hiring framework. To make things super easy, I'm going to just go over it on a Google Doc. And here's a few things that you must ask yourself before ever hiring. First things first, are you hiring due to a lack of skills? Or are you hiring due to a lack of time? A lot of entrepreneurs hire for the wrong reasons. For example, if you suck at sales, hiring a salesperson is not going to fix that problem. Instead, it's much more valuable for you to learn sales and know how to actually close someone. And maybe you're not going to be the best salesperson in the world, but once you have that knowledge, you're going to be much more prepared to bring on a salesperson and then ultimately identify where they're messing up and where they're doing things properly. So I tell everyone, hire due to a lack of time, not due to a lack of skills. For example, if your operations are a complete mess, don't hire an operations manager to clean things up. Instead, learn how to clean things up, develop the skill, and once you're busy and can't manage all of their operations yourself, hire an operations manager to come in and help you out. So that's the first question you have to ask yourself. The second question you have to ask yourself is, do you have a business partner? For agencies, there's really 2 main departments. Front end, which is everything to acquire a client, and then back end, everything that happens once you close the client to get them amazing results. In a perfect world, if you do have a business partner, you must be doing completely separate things. Ideally, one of you guys is 100% front end, the other person is 100% back end. That makes it a lot easier for you to move faster. But if you don't have a business partner, what you need to do is start hiring a lot more quickly. So the second question to ask yourself is, do you have a business partner? Because if you do, you can wait a little bit longer before hiring. And if you don't, you need to be much more aggressive about bringing in people to help you and free up your time. The next thing I want to go over is the real estate hiring framework. So a lot of people, the way that they build marketing agencies is like this. So if you're a real estate developer, what you do is first you buy the land, then you build the foundation to the building, then you set up all the windows, make it look beautiful. Then what you do after that is you hire all of the people that are going to be working at the apartment. And then after that, you start marketing the apartment building and filling it up with tenants. This is the right way to build a building. The problem is most agency owners don't treat their agency in this way. Instead, what happens is they get a bunch of clients, they freak out, they're overworked, and then they're like, oh my God, we need to hire someone. So following the real estate example, the way that most agency owners operate is the opposite from this. What they do is they buy the land and start getting clients, start filling it up with tenants, but they don't even have a place to live. And as soon as they get a few tenants, they start building the first floor. And then they're like, oh my God, we've got tenants in the first floor. We don't even have a freaking building. Let's hire people. So the reason I give you guys the real estate hiring framework is because the more you can treat your agency like a real estate developer would treat their investment into an apartment complex, the easier it's going to be for you to go out and execute and not only get clients, but get them amazing results. The next thing I want to teach you is called the battery dilemma. Now, most people, like I used to, hire people that don't come with batteries. What this means, for example, when I hired the interns, they had no idea how to do account management. They had no idea how to do Facebook ads. They had no idea how to create irresistible offers. So what would happen is I would have to spend so much time training these people and getting them up to speed before they were even good enough to go out and do the job. And that is a big investment. And a lot of people, what they do is they try to shortcut their way into building an amazing team by doing things like hiring people that don't come with batteries. But trust me, even if they're more affordable to hire, the time invested into you getting them up to speed costs you money. And that opportunity cost compared to just hiring someone that does come with batteries and they could just go out and execute from day one is massive. So that's another thing to keep in mind when it comes to hiring. Now, to break down my hiring framework, where do you find the best talent? Here's the thing to keep in mind. If you look at sports, the most famous and successful athletes in the world aren't free agents. They have a team. So this is me being very honest with you guys. The best talent in the world is already working for someone else. And now that we know about hiring people with batteries, hiring people that already come pre-trained, the best place to find talent is other companies. And the way that you do that, there's two ways that I love attracting the best talent. Number one is just paying for it. So hiring a recruiting company that will go out and talk to people that are already crushing it at another agency that could be really similar to yours and trying to get them to come learn about your company and the role that you are filling. The second way is to build a personal brand. Now, if you look at a company like VaynerMedia and Gary Vaynerchuk, why do people want to work at his agency? Is it because of the agency and how amazing the benefits are? No, people want to work with Gary V for who he is. So because he has such a strong personal brand, he is able to attract really high quality prospects to come work at his agency. And if you're not willing to pay for a recruiter to go out and find talented people that come with batteries, my favorite way is to put in the sweat equity in building your personal brand so that you can become someone that people want to work for. If you're not going to pay someone to go out and find talented people that want to come work at your company for your company, then become someone that people want to work for because of who you are. Now, with that in mind, here's who you need in your agency if you want to get to 7 figures. And this was the exact team that I had when we were at $100K a month. Now, I can break down a little bit of how to get to $300,000 per month and beyond as well, but let's start out with the 7-figure agency dream team. First, you're going to need a CEO. That's a central person that's managing the rest of the people. Then you're also going to need a COO. Ideally, the CEO is more focused on front end. The CEO is more focused on back end. So front end would be everything that happens up until the point that you close a client. And then the CEO is in charge of everything that happens once you get the client. And then after that, what you're going to need are some VAs. Everything before the client. And don't mind the typo. You're going to need some VAs. So we had prospecting VAs. We had admin VAs. We had onboarding VAs. We had fulfillment VAs. Those were kind of the main 4 categories. On top of that, you're going to need a sales rep to take calls. Because if you're the one taking all the sales calls, it's really hard to have the space, quite literally, on your calendar to scale. You're also going to need a media buyer. They're going to be in charge of reviewing everything that the VAs are doing in terms of setting up all the campaigns for the client. And then they're also going to be in charge of optimizing those campaigns. They're also going to be in charge of innovating, coming up with new creatives, et cetera, et cetera. And then lastly, you're going to need an account manager to manage all of the clients. So the question is, how do you scale this team once you get to 100K a month? Well, it's actually quite simple. You just need to do more of the same. So instead of maybe having one VA in each of these sub-departments, you're going to have 2 VAs for each of these sub-departments. Instead of having 1 salesperson, you have 2 salespeople. Instead of having 1 media buyer, you have 2 media buyers. Instead of having 1 account manager, you have 2 account managers. So this is my overall 7-figure agency hiring framework. This is how I think about hiring, when to hire, who to hire, what skills and experience they should come with, how do I attract the best people, so on and so forth.